Get ready for news and views from Lubbock, Texas, USA. What's going on and real talk with people who move and do things. This is the Focus LBK Show with your host, Robert Jenkins.
Hey, what's good, LBK? This is Robert Jenkins. Welcome to episode 133 of the Focus LBK Show. Of course, this is season 3, and we are pleased to have in studio with us Mr. Stephen Sanders, candidate for mayor of this fair, flat city of ours, LBK. Stephen, welcome to the Focus LBK Show. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. I really do.
Cool. It's our pleasure. Glad you could come. We don't have a lot of political candidates, or we haven't had a lot of political candidates, but I think we got you today, and we got another one scheduled for next week. So I guess it's that season. How are you feeling during this election season here?
I mean, I feel great. I've been at this for a long time, and this is my 5th time to run. So I've kind of gotten a great feel for how it is. You get a little tired, but just making sure that we're getting the message out is really important. So I feel good. I feel great. I feel confident. And I feel like the one thing that I feel great about the most is that we're helping people wake up and see some things that they need to see. No matter how they vote, they are hearing the truth about a lot of things that we need to address as a city.
Well, we'll get into some of that in a bit, I'm sure. What I really want to start off with is, man, tell me just a little bit about yourself. Where'd you grow up? Are you from Tyler? Is that you? Or was that somebody else? I be looking up so much stuff. I'm like, man, I can't remember if I'm coming or going. But where you from, and where'd you grow up? And tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I'm from Lubbock. Okay. I grew up right here in this community.
Okay.
I went to Wheatley, which is now Irving. And then I went to Alderson Junior High.
Okay.
And Carolyn Thompson was my principal at the time, Lady Red Raider. And then I went to Estacado for 1 year under Mr. Wallace, Kenneth Wallace, God bless his soul. And then I moved to Monterey for the last 2 years of my high school because my brother, Jerome Moore, had broken his neck playing high school football at Dunbar many years ago. And we were having a hard time finding a caretaker. And so I went and spent my last 2 years of high school doing that, taking care of him. He's quadriplegic, paralyzed from the neck down. So it really taught me a lot of humility, as in being able to serve someone that necessarily can't do anything back for you, and so, and then after that, I went to the military. My senior year, the recruiters kept bugging me every time I went to school, like, hey, come over here and talk to us. I'm like, I ain't going to the Army. And finally, one day I broke down. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be able to afford to go to college. My family don't have money like that. And so I figured that was going to be my easiest way. And so I ended up joining and became a 92 Yankee unit supply specialist.
Okay.
I did basic training at Fort Jackson, Laxon Jackson, as they say.
Okay.
And after that, I came home, got back in the ministry at First Progressive Baptist Church, which is my home church. Pastor Bishop Deshaun Avery.
Okay.
It was his dad at the time, which was my uncle. So we were doing youth ministry and working with the homeless, feeding the community, all that kind of stuff. And one day it hit me and dawned on me that I wondered who was in charge of that for the city. Who helps the people who don't have anybody or may be forgotten about or pushed to the side? The homeless people. Who helps the people who are struggling? And come to find out, there weren't a lot of answers for that question. And the Lord told me to run for mayor. So I did. I jumped in the race. I was 2018. Funny story. I went to get on the ballot, and my ID was expired. It was that day.
Oh man!
And so I couldn't actually sign the ballot that day, but I did come back and sign up as a write-in candidate. So 2018 was my first year to run as a write-in candidate. and then 2020 I was full fledged. But so I did that, and that was 2018. So here we are 5 times later, and it's been good all the way. I didn't know a lot about the city when I started, but now I have a great feel and a great knowledge for our city, and my love for the city is grown quite a bit as well. So that's kind of a little bit about. I got 5 kids, my wife. I got 2 driving, and it seemed like I was just changing their diapers.
Wow.
And they're both really successful young people. All of my kids are. But they are learning how to serve their community, and they're watching me serve, and so it's just been good to watch them grow up, and us, working as a family to do what we can for the Lubbock community. So,
Let me ask you this: what? Well, first of all, on that 2018 run, did you sign up write-in for mayor on that one too?
yeah, I was a write-in candidate for mayor.
How'd you do in that election though?
I think I pulled 4%.
Really?
As a write-in candidate, which people were shocked that I even was able to do 4%.
Yeah. Well, how did you the last time you ran?
Last time I finished in 4th place behind Adam Hernandez. Adam had the cannabis on the weed on the ballot.
Yeah.
So he did well.
Yeah.
I did. I give him his props.
Yeah.
I'm not a hater, but I and then I had Mark McBrayer and Steve Massengale pulling from that conservative vote.
Yeah.
So I didn't do as well as I wanted to, but I maintained, which was positive for me. I kind of knew how that race would play out, and so I endorsed Mark McBrayer.
Okay.
Overall, at the end, I endorsed him.
Right. So what would you say? Well, before we get into that, I got this question that I've been dying to ask, and I've had a couple of people ask me about it, and it's the same question. I could put it to Adam Hernandez, and I talked to him. I think he was like one of my first 10 guests or something. This is what I'm just dying to know. Why do y'all shoot for mayor the first time out instead of going for a district council member, or even getting on some boards and commissions? Because I looked at his campaign, this last one. He could be the District 2 councilman right now if he'd have run for that either year, last year or the time before. And it seems like to me, if you get some of that street cred, so to speak, by getting on some boards and commissions or running as a council member, it seems like it would be a stepping stone. It's a way to get in there and then show people what you can do and get a track record built up.
Yes, sir.
And then run for mayor after you got a little groundswell up under you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I wonder why do you have your sights obviously set steadfastly on mayor? Why is that?
And that's a twofold answer, and I'll give it to you. But firstly, I didn't choose to run for mayor. The Lord told me to run for mayor. That's the difference between, if it were left up to me, I wouldn't have even gotten into politics.
Right. You did say the Lord told you that.
Right.
That's the first thing you said.
Yeah. And so I don't, I know that's backwards, and I agree with everyone who says that, but I'm also the first African American to ever run for mayor in this city. Especially for a position at large like that. So it really has given some of our community a lot of hope that we do have someone who cares enough to step up for us. And after some time, I started to question God's calling and say, man, God, I'm not winning. Like, what am I doing? Why am I here? Why are you doing this? Why should I be here? And it dawned on me that we needed to always have a seat at the table. As an African-American community, we needed to have a seat at the table to make sure that, of course, East Lubbock and even North Lubbock had a voice of, the underserved and the forgotten about, pushed to the side. That's the truth. This is really what it is. It's been that way. And I'm changing that. And so that's kind of why that happened like that. The second part of this, and I'll elaborate a little bit on the first part later, but the second part is that I'm not opposed to running for a district seat. The district seat has never been open for me to run for. When I was living in District 2, It wasn't open. When I moved to District 4, it just opened up. So I could right now, I could take my name off the ballot. And I actually talked to the city about that. I could take my name off the ballot for mayor and run for District 4 against this other guy, and I could do that.
Yeah.
But I've spent a lot of money already, and I've worked really hard, and a lot of people believe in me and I believe in them. And I need to just focus on what I'm doing. I don't need to be bouncing around.
Right, I hear you.
So maybe later on down the line, I'll turn around and run for that District 4. But I agree with people who have that question and who may have the opinion that I should have run for a district council seat first or boards and commission. The other part of that is nobody gave me any training or any knowledge about city politics. I didn't come from a poli-science degree or anything like that. I decided that I wanted to step up for my community, so I did. And do I regret that? No, I don't. But sometimes I think, man, I wish I would have had somebody to kind of guide me a little bit, and kind of give me some insight, like, well, Sanders, maybe you need to run for this board or get on this commission's board or whatever. But it just didn't happen like that. And so here we are. But I'm thankful for every part of the journey.
I hear that.
It's been great. I can't complain.
So what I really like to know about people that are running for office, you have your platform and the things that you stand for. But what I really want to know is, what is your political philosophy? And also, as you explain that, what your political philosophy is, take me back to 18, because it seems like I look back over some of the things that you used to say and things you used to stand for, and I don't necessarily see a contradiction, but it definitely seems to be a slide to the right. Mm-hmm. And to me, I don't necessarily have a problem with that. But some people are, well, why'd you go to the right? And I don't have a problem with it, because I think sometimes as you get older or mature, or as you read more and learn more, get more life experience, you change it. If you have life experience that changes your views, you're supposed to go with those views. You know what I'm saying?
You just hit it on the head.
Yeah.
You answered your own question. When I first ran for mayor in 2018, I told you I didn't have any experience. And I never voted Democrat. You go look at my record, go look at my voting record. I never voted Democrat. I was just finding out who I was.
Yeah.
And when I got into politics, I started to learn a little bit about what government was and what it meant, and especially for the Lubbock area. But then I started to make some changes in my personal life, and that is really tightening up my walk with Christ, and really, really honing in on whether I was doing the right thing or not, whether I'm honorable enough to, do the things that I'm doing, or whether I'm just a good person or not. All of those thoughts were going through my head all the time. Yeah. And I was in the church already, playing music at the church. I'm already in the church, but I didn't really have a relationship with Christ. And once I had a relationship with Christ, it really started to make me see some things a lot different. Mm-hmm. I don't believe in abortion. Not because it's a Democrat or a Republican thing. It has nothing to do with the right or the left. It has everything to do with the Bible. Mm-hmm. And I believe in what the Bible says. We talk about that. I'm in seminary right now, at DTS. And we talk about our convictions. We vote based on our convictions.
Yeah.
The things that God has convicted our heart about. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I've chosen to vote the way I have, and why I lean more towards that. My wife is probably more of a middle of the road type of person.
Yeah.
And even lately, I've been able to see that in my own life. Like maybe I don't like abortion, but can I hear those people out? Mm-hmm. Can I listen to them? Mm-hmm. Do they have valid points? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So it's all about how you take that in, and then how you use that in your voting and in your policy. My policies are very somewhat right, but I'm not going to overlook racism. and disparities. And
What does racism have to do with the right?
I mean, I'm not saying that it really does have to do with the right. There's racism on both sides. That's what I've come to find out. To be honest with you, if you know the history about Democrats and Republicans, then there was a flip anyways.
Actually, from my understanding, I don't think there was a flip. Nobody changed any votes. The Southern strategy, all they did was, as far as I can tell, and as far as I've read, what the Democrats did is shifted their racial policy. Their racial policy used to be Southern Democrats was for the, pro-slavery and all that. Founded the Ku Klux Klan. The same Republicans were always against it. And then my understanding is all the Democrats did is say, oh, well, let's just broaden it out and make it all about other races except the white race. That's the perception I have of it. The Democrat Party seems to be focused on race as an issue and abortion as an issue.
Right.
They just flipped it. Flipped it as in, oh, now it's not anti-black, it's pro-black. Pro-POC they call it. People of color, I guess. I don't know. That's just my take on it. But
that's an interesting take. I don't think that you're wrong. I'll agree with you on that. I would have to get more into depth with that with you, but I don't think that's not anything that I don't believe in. But what I do believe in is treating people right and doing the right thing.
Which, of course, you have to do as a Christian.
Right. And as a human.
As a human being. But,
right. Yeah. Just in general. But that's been the trick of the political machine, to keep us looking left and right. Yeah. Instead of looking directly at them who are really jacking around with us,
Yeah, if you I don't know if you've checked out my show and some of the things I say, but I came to the conclusion decades ago now. Well, when starting out as a young man here in Lubbock, Texas myself, going over to May Simmons for some community rally we had back in '92 or something like that, and listening to everybody talk and everybody dogging out the right and Republicans. And I'm like, yeah, but that I don't see the connection there. And everybody loving Democrats. And I got up and I remember I said my piece and I was peeping out the way people were talking. So they dogging out the white man. I was like, well, since y'all have correctly pointed out or obviously realized or obviously believe the white man is this and the white man is that and the white man is that. I said, okay, be that as it may, why then do we turn around and ask him for stuff? I said, don't that mean that we need to make our own stuff and do it ourselves?
Yes, sir.
Don't we need to equip ourselves as individuals to, if it's so bad,
right?
What are we doing? How are you equipped to join the battle?
Right.
And when I love this, it was like, have you ever seen "I'ma Get You, Sucker"?
Yes, I have.
You remember when the black panther was it Samuel Jackson or Clarence Williams?
Clarence Williams.
He had the white wife. He was pro-black, but he had a white wife and kids. Remember? And he was like, we need to go out and can't remember. It's so long ago. But he's like, we need to go out and start the revolution now. Yes, we need to do. Yes, you gonna help us? Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I saw that night at May Simmons back in '90, whatever it was.
Right.
I said, the white man said, yes. And the white man said, yes. So let's do it ourselves. Yeah, well. Mm-hmm. And I took deep note of that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is, I kind of feel you on that, looking at, I'm a Christian as well.
Right.
And well, religion and politics are not mutually exclusive. You vote from your heart, the issues that are important to you.
The convictions.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you said, if you believe God told you to run, then there's certain things you cannot be for.
Right. Period.
Right.
Right. So I can't pull a lever because you're black or you're a Democrat or because you're a Republican and you got money or because of whatever reason.
Right.
I have to pull a lever based on what Christ has given me in the book. The book has the Bible has 66 books for me to get the rules and the path for me to go. Mm-hmm. So I use that quite often. Mm-hmm. And it's really easy for me that way. Mm-hmm. I'm walking in God's favor right now. Everything that I'm doing politically is been favored by Christ lately in a way that I've never seen before because I let go of who I was, the ideal that I had about who I should be, and I'm just walking in what Christ is doing in my life.
Give me an example of how God has shown up for you. Jesus has made it work for you.
Right. So when it comes to campaigns, a lot of times the candidates can't get their message out because they don't have the money. Adam has a message, but he doesn't have the money. I have a message, but I haven't had the money, and that's really what it comes down to. And Christ has really changed that, opened up some doors where I was able to be successful in my businesses and some of my adventures. And so now I can honestly walk into a place and say, hey, I can do it. Whatever it is that I need to do, I can do it. And I just left the PAC meeting, the 806 Advantage PAC.
Okay.
And that Mark McDougall is a part of that. Okay. Some of the people that are part of the Lubbock machine, if you will.
Yeah.
And I told them just now, and I feel so enlightened. I told them, I said, I don't need your money. I didn't come here to try to get you to give me money. I came here to show you that you have a young trailblazer right here in front of you that can help us change how things have been. Business as usual doesn't work for us anymore. So I don't need your money. I need your support and your ideas and your openness. Those are the things that I need you for. And they were shocked, but when I was trying to be who I was trying to be, seemed like money was an issue all the time. And
right.
I couldn't think about nothing but money.
Right.
When God is a God of provision, and he always provides, and he has been doing that. And now I just focus on that. I'm like, all right, what's next? What's next in this campaign? I know what to do now. I made some smarter moves in some of the last couple of election cycles where I realized how I can reuse things and how to be conservative when it comes to the supplies that I use to run for mayor, and the artwork and all the different things that cost me a lot of money to get originally, instead of trying to redo that every single time, build a brand.
Yeah.
Build a brand, and then one thing I noticed is God will bless a brand if you're building it for him. And so that's kind of where I am on that.
Speak more about that. That's very interesting. God will bless a brand if you're doing it for him.
Right. If you're doing it for the right reasons. So there's two reasons that people run for mayor here in the city. That's either to take advantage of the zoning and the planning committee so that they can move around business and real estate endeavors, or to do the right thing and just serve the entire city. The problem that we have in Lubbock is that we don't serve all 17 zip codes. District 4 and 5 are the prominent voters. And a lot of times they get more of the attention. And Central and East Lubbock and North Lubbock are some of the original bones of the city.
Yeah.
And we're growing out south. And I posted about this earlier, and the PAC tried to bring that up. Well, you said we're sprawling. We're in a sprawling effect out south and this and that. I said our spending habits are in a sprawl. I said, but we know we need construction and roads and maintenance for South Lubbock to kill the congestion that we have out there. It's a big traffic jam, But we still got to take care of the infrastructure that we have inside the loop. Our communities are falling apart. They're crumbling right before us. And we have to take care of what started us. Those people are taxpayers too.
Yeah.
So when we reallocate the money and send it all that way, then guess what? We're leaving them out.
Now, I've heard people at the city council speak to the fact that some funds, and I don't claim to be an expert at this, but some funds can only be used in the district for which they were raised, and some funds can only be used for certain projects. What funds do you think are being sent down south? And you smile, gave me a wry smile with that, a knowing smile. Tell me what you know. That smile means you've seen some things.
I don't think that's true at all. I think that right now they move the money around how they want because the people don't know how to follow it, and the people that need to follow it don't know how. if it's benefiting other people that live in that part of town, then of course they don't have no reason to be worried about where the money is going.
Right.
That's what we've been dealing with, you know. McBrayer did away with the impact fees. You know, they did away with that, which was one way to keep the money and the funding in the community that it came from. They did away with that. Why did they do away with that? Because they want to be able to move the funds where they want. The general fund is about $950 million. I've called down and talked to Jared at the city, and I've asked him, I said, I want you to tell me what you've spent in East and North Lubbock and where the money went. Just tell me, just give me some examples, and don't tell me about the fire department, and don't tell me about the police station that you put in East Lubbock. Talk to me about some things you've really done in the community.
What was his answer?
Well, we'll have to get back to you. We'll get those. He didn't say no, that he wouldn't get me the information, but I hadn't gotten it yet. And
how long has he had it?
It hasn't been that long. It's been probably a week or something like that. But I mean, how long does it take?
Yeah.
You know, I like Jared. He and I always have great conversations, and I think he's got a good heart. I think he's just a part of the machine, you know, that he's got to do things a certain way, or his job is on the line. He's got a family. But, you know, I don't know that that's good for our city all the time. You know, we need a leader that wants to get the plan from the people, take the plan to the city manager, and the city manager tells us how we're going to get there. That's the way this works.
Right.
But it hadn't always been that way, especially not from a northern and an eastern perspective. They just get to do whatever they're told, which stems back to voting and showing up to meetings and being a part of the process. So that's not all on the city. Some of that's on us as people, you know, like we don't go and, you know, be a part of the conversation. So then you don't have a say. Yeah. You know, but even still, we should still find out what these people think. And as a leader and as a mayor, you have to do whatever it takes. You have to go beyond the regular scope of doing things. Go create a meeting in their part of town where they come out and hear from them, not coffee with the mayor at 7 a.m. You know, that's not going to work. Do it on a Saturday at 6 p.m. or something like that, where folks who work can come.
Or you
know, that's what we're dealing with city council right now. They moved the city council meetings to 2 p.m. on Tuesday and Thursday. One of the things I'm going to do is automatically change that time to back to 6:30, 6. You know, somewhere where the middle class can come and tell us what they want.
Yeah. Now that always sounds like a good idea, but from my observation, no matter what time it is, you get the same people in there. No matter what time of day.
Well, it depends on the leader.
Yeah.
It depends on if the leader can get the people to show up. But the first part is to make sure it's at a time where they can. And then you alleviate one excuse at a time.
Right. So get into some specifics about your planks on your campaign, with your program. What do you plan to do? And you want to be mayor for all of Lubbock, but at the same time, you want to. It sounds like you also understand that East and North Lubbock needs some special attention.
Yeah,
how do you propose to do that?
Yeah, they do. But you know, like I said, I'm running for mayor for 17 zip codes.
Yeah.
The one thing we need to do as a city, first of all, is to get our budget and our spending under control. Let's just start right there. The first thing we have to do is make sure we know where every penny is going. We don't really know that right now, I don't think, you know, or they don't tell us everything that we need to know. Unless you know how to go and read the budget like I have, 900 pages. It took me 3 weeks to go line by line.
What's the most surprising thing you found in there?
The consulting fees that are in whatever name, and all of the things that we don't get to hear about that they spend money on, and that there's no way for us to see that in real time. we just get this big old report and they shove all this stuff in there. And if you can't process those words and those numbers, then you just crap out of luck, you know? But we're going to change that. And so I propose a plan, a $100 million plan. And the name is unique because the $100 million plan sounds better than the alternative names that I had, but it'll be a twofold plan. And we're going to use things that we've already been successful at. So we're successful with barbecue and food. People love our food. They love our barbecue here. Eva Mae's, you name it.
Yeah.
Even Wally's barbecue. You know, like I can take you any part of town. I know where the barbecue is.
Yeah.
Because I love to eat.
Yeah.
But and then we'll do and we'll put wine in with that.
Okay.
Because we do have great wine here. I don't
Yeah.
drink anymore, but I know we have great wine. People come here. We have some events like Uncorked and stuff like that do really well. And then we'll do music festival.
Yeah.
We're gonna pull a lot of people with that, and then we'll bring a headliner with all the talent that we have on top of that.
Yeah.
And then finally, technology and innovative tech festival where we work with Texas Tech to bring people to this festival.
Interesting. You know, one of the things I've kind of noticed about Lubbock, I'm from Lubbock. I grew up here, left in 97, joined the military. Just got back in 22, finishing up my military and my contracting career, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's cool. I'm glad I did it that way because I know Lubbock from about 74 up to about 97. And I know it from brand new eyes, haven't lived here in 25, 27, 28 years, whatever it is.
Yes, sir.
And one of the things I noticed is that we don't, for a city this size, we have a lot of potential, but we seem to have no swag, as the young cats used to say. We seem to have no desire to get, every time we want to get something, whether it's, you know, housing at tech or, you know, some new whatever, people are traffic and my property taxes. And my safety. I hate to say like online. My safety, my property taxes, right. And I'm like, but you want to be a bigger city, but you don't want any of the price tag that comes with that. There's costs. You have to you got to pay for things you want.
Right.
And those things, hopefully, if you make wise decisions, will pay for themselves. You don't have to pay so much for them.
Right.
I don't. What have you noticed that? And this is the reason I get into this. I was doing my taxes the other day, and my tax lady told me, she was talking about how Levelland, which I don't know how many people Levelland has. If somebody out there know, it seemed like Levelland's about big as this room.
Right.
But they got a huge convention center and arena, rodeo. So the big rodeo that just happened in Levelland instead of Lubbock.
That's nice too.
And I can't understand, how does a rodeo that big, how does something that big end up in a city that little when 30 minutes down the road you got a metroplex essentially,
right, that
don't have that. What is that?
Right. That is the corruption that I've been talking about all this time. We've got all this debt and nothing to show for it. So where did the money go? All the debt we have, you know, we got almost $2 billion worth of debt.
2 million?
2 billion.
2 billion?
Or $2 billion worth of debt. Now some of that was for our water. We needed that, obviously, but that's not the whole part. That we got a lot of debt, man.
Yeah, I heard it was water and LP&L, which is a separate thing. So it looks like we have debt, but it's really their debt or something like. You know, I don't claim to understand the ins and outs of it, but
right, and that's the trickery. That's the smoke screens and the mirrors that they use to cover up a lot of things that they do.
I mean, what do you think they could do other than an annual, comprehensive annual financial report? They put that out. You can download that.
Right.
What do you think they can do other than that that's going to make it more transparent?
So, like I said, I wanted to create a real-time dashboard where the people, every time the city spends some money, it'll show up where you can go and look. Yeah. And people will know. So if we're not doing anything shady, then it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah. And I just found out about something the other day. Oh, man. It's a log of, I can't remember what it's called, but it's essentially a log of expenditures. Now, it's not digital. It's not a dashboard.
Right. Right. You got to go pull it.
But it's once a month or something like that, I think.
Right. And then they make
Check
it so
register.
hard. Yeah. They make it so hard for you to get the information when you do a public data pull.
Yeah.
It's like, they give you the runaround. It's because they want to hide things, and so the transparency has never been there.
Right.
But let me finish this.
Okay.
The way that I want to bring in the revenue, which is the $100 million plan, the first part of that is the festival. So we're going to have the 3 festivals. Here's the numbers on that. If we bring, let's just say the food festival.
Right.
And we got all these vendors and all these people. We bring 60,000 people to our city in a weekend, and they spend $800 only.
Which is a hotel room, a couple nights, and some food. That's
and
easy.
Some food, right.
That's
At our
quick.
restaurants and stuff like that. Yeah. That's $48 million in just one event. I gave a very conservative revenue number because I didn't want people to think that I'm like trying to blow smoke on them. Like, oh, he just trying to make it seem like he gonna make a bunch of money. And I said 48,000 for all 3 events.
Yeah.
But if we were to make 48,000 for all 3 events, that's $150,000. How does that affect us?
I'm not following that. 48,000 or use 48 million?
48 million. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
48 million. That's $150 million technically.
Gotcha.
Who does that affect? First line for this first part is the small business owners.
Small businesses. Yeah.
So we give them some breathing room, and they get to make some money, and it just makes things so much better for our business community, and they deserve it.
But as mayor, how do you make that happen though?
Well, I mean, you talking to somebody who come from music and who come from the entertainment business.
Yeah.
So I have the experience in that. I know every promoter that we have in the area, and I'm talking West Texas, and they all tell me, we're just waiting on you, and I like that, and that's great. But how does that affect the city? How much money does the city make on all of that money? On the just say the 48 million.
Yeah, I know they got your hot tax.
Right. So you're gonna it's gonna hit your sales tax and your hotel occupancy tax. This is millions of dollars.
Right.
We're $5 million in the red right now as a city.
Yeah.
So one event can get us out of the red by just having faith and stepping out, doing something that we're already good at. Not some crazy plan. This is not a crazy plan. This is something that's super feasible.
Yeah.
It does not got not a lot of overhead cost on it. And so that's what I want to do with that. And that will allow us to do infrastructure projects. We can have world-class amenities. We can have a pool and not raise your taxes.
Yeah.
Because that's what they asked me. Well, how are you going to do that? Who going to pay for that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, this is how I'm going to do it. So I have a pool plan. And I made this plan without using tax money. This is a P3 plan, which is public-private partnership. One thing we have as a city is land. We got land, because this is our city. So we provide the land. The partnership is where, if you look at Laurie Field, they got Plains National Bank up there real big.
Yeah.
Because they paid a lot of money to help build that and and get that thing turned around. So we will do that as well.
Okay.
So if you want to have your name on this big pool that we're going to create, that's going to be year round.
Right.
Then,
indoor pool then.
Right. Indoor. And I want the roof to be retractable.
Okay.
So that we can so we can use some sunlight.
Oh, okay. All right.
And if you want your name on that building, then you got to help us build it.
Yeah.
And so that's going to cut a lot of costs off the city,
Yeah.
And then the third part is getting a nonprofit like YWCA, who's already accustomed to running a pool. And what we'll do is we'll let them keep a part of the assets, the money made, the revenue, to run the lanes and the pool usage and all of that. So that'll help them. They'll get to make money, and it'll create the money for them to pay for the lifeguards and the people that they need.
Right. But are they a nonprofit?
Yeah, I think they are.
Does that interfere with that in any way, you think?
Yeah. No, it doesn't interfere with that, because they're basically doing a job for the city.
Yeah.
And they'll get to. We don't necessarily give them any money.
Right.
They make it. So, and that keeps the employee count off of the city's payroll. So we have to always make sure that we're being smart about that. The other part is this: the chlorine, the pumps, and the energy. How do we do that? All right. We made quite a bit of money off of the pool lanes and the usage and everything. We don't let them keep all of the money, because it's going to make a lot of money, We'll pay for our chlorine like that. And then the way we keep our energy bill down, we live in one of the sunniest places in America. We don't have no trees here in Lubbock, so we're going to, and that's a whole nother conversation, and I'm not even going to go there right now. Right. But we're going to use solar power. And we're going to cut our bills in half and slash them.
You could probably run that pool off solar power, actually.
Right, exactly. So this is how I have to present it to those who are slow, like you were saying, on us being a real metroplex. Well, we don't want to be like Dallas. We don't want to be like Austin.
Which I agree. I don't either.
Which we don't.
But you do want to have some nice stuff, though.
But people pay taxes.
Yeah.
We got kids here. Why do kids get in trouble most of the time here? Because there's really it's not anything for them to do. Also, too, parenting starts at home.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We won't go there right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, we had this discussion at work one time.
Yeah, but we need to give them something to do. I think the city wants it. And I think even if I needed to ask them for a bond, for a small bond to finish it off, they would do it.
Yeah.
Because they want it that bad.
Yeah. Now, people do want a pool, but here's the thing that I learned when we were having that conversation a couple of years ago about the pools going away. People said, was something I kind of went, so if you don't have something to do, kids get in trouble. Well, I don't know. When I was a kid, we made stuff to do.
Yeah,
we
still got
in trouble, but it was good trouble. We out there having fun. Okay, yeah, we was playing ball in the street. Yeah, we was.
And we hit somebody with a ball.
Yeah. One of the things I learned though about those pools at the time, they said that the click rate is not what people think it is. The people coming to pay.
Right.
So
they weren't showing
I
up.
wonder why they, we think that pools make a lot of money, but the question is, will they or do they? Because the old ones didn't apparently make enough to fund themselves, really. Especially with kids staying indoors all day and on their phones and stuff.
Right. The problem with that is the technology that we got. Like you just said, they got a phone, they got a tablet, they got this, they got that. But also too, the city wasn't promoting the pool and saying, hey, we got this. So that's one thing I'm also going to bring to the city is that, I got a degree in advertising and creative media industries. We're fixing to step up, and we're gonna promote the city to the world.
Yeah,
and we're gonna bring people here. We're gonna bring businesses here. But the thing that we didn't do with the pools is we stopped promoting it because we thinking that we got to promote something else. We thinking we got to promote this, we got to promote that. So we just got to make it appeasing. Advertising is a job.
Yeah.
We have people who do that for the city.
Yeah.
And we need to make sure that they're earning their dollars, and so advertise this pool. But that's why I think it would be a good idea for us to just have one.
Yeah.
A
big, nice size pool, centrally located.
Yeah. Centrally located where people can get to it, everybody, same amount of time.
Bus route to it.
Right. And not outside of the city limit, although the bus routes have changed quite a bit in that regard. So, but we would make sure we had a bus route coming from each part of town to the pool to make sure that we can do that. And we put the rates at something feasible. Yeah. We can't charge. I don't know if you ever looked at the prices on Sun and Fun. They actually went down on their prices a little bit, but it's still out of range. For when I was growing up, my mama couldn't afford that.
Well, I'll tell you what, when I was growing up, we had pools. So I used to go to George Woods pool.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
I
went to May Simmons a couple times, but I
Yeah.
was mainly going to George Woods.
Yeah, I was going to May Simmons.
Yeah. And I remember, I think it was 75 cents or something like that. Because
Yeah.
my dad would give me a couple dollars. That'd get you in and get you a Coke and a snack.
Right. Well, and I don't think it ever got too expensive.
Yeah.
Me and Miss Phyllis Gann and some other community members, we would all pitch in to pay for a whole day for kids to come out. We were trying to get them to come.
Okay.
So if you show up,
But
it's
were
for
they
free.
coming?
No, not really. They
That's
really
so
weren't.
weird, ain't
They
it?
really weren't. Yeah, they really weren't. But
Free pool and nobody come to it.
right. And it's just because they weren't used to having that kind of love.
Yeah.
A lot of times, Black people and Hispanic people get upset with leaders and they don't really follow because they are not used to having any real leaders. So,
What's your definition of leadership? You've used that term many times.
Yeah. A leader is someone who steps up to the plate and is able to listen. The best leaders are the best listeners that I've ever met in my entire life. They'll get quiet and just let you talk and hear you out. And then they'll take that information and they'll process it. They'll come back to you with what they process and talk about what they processed. And then we build a plan from what we process and then the ideas that they have about what we process. You know, the best leaders also make sure that they're the dumbest guy in the room. So I have a lot of great people that are really intelligent around me. And so I'm going to really lean into them in their specific fields, you know, like help me, make sure I'm on the right track with this because I don't know everything, you know. And so I believe that's another great trait of a leader. The other thing that makes a leader great is to have humility, the humility part of it. You can't be a racist. You can't be, you can't hate people and be a leader because then you separate the people. And I'm just talking about in my shoes.
Right.
You know, I don't hate anybody. I love everybody in the city.
I that's something, I'm glad you said that. I've thought about this before. And how do you hate somebody?
I don't know.
Unless you physically do something to harm me or my family. And then I don't know if I still hate you. I'm gonna get back. We're gonna have to deal with that situation.
Right.
But I don't know if I hate you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I don't hate it.
I don't hate anything or anybody, actually.
Right. And I deal with that sometimes when I talk about the homeless and I talk about East and North Lubbock. Sometimes people on the right are like, you don't need to be helping them. They chose to be in that situation, blah, 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 blah. And while sometimes it may be right, that don't mean that I'm not supposed to help them.
Right.
A real leader is I'm only as strong as my weakest citizen. You know? So I just got done talking to that pack and they said, well, you were talking about stopping growth in South Lubbock. I said, that's not true. I said, I never said that. And I straightened her out on it. And I told her, I said, this is the truth. We're only as strong as our weakest community. So we can't be leaving people behind. We can't be saying that, well, you chose to get on crack. So you know what? You stay over in the corner and you be quiet. Or there's people who are that do live in poverty that are really good people that work really hard. That's just the way the set of circumstances that they have.
Yeah.
And so we just can't leave people out based on those personal feelings. True leadership has to see past the problem. What do they say? Hate the sin, not the sinner. You know?
Yeah. Let me, I want to get on two things that both, I was trying to remember them in mind. My little mnemonic device was D&D. Dogs and data centers.
Yeah.
First of all, man, talk to us about this proposed data center. And that is some stuff that I feel like there's a lack of transparency on that because I didn't even see that coming. And then I saw it on the city council's agenda one day. Data center? And they shot it down, but I have the sneaking suspicion that all they doing is strengthening it to bring it back.
Right. And then they'll do it and they'll be done before anybody gets a say in it. But here's the truth about the data center. We don't need a data center. We don't need them pulling our water and jamming up our grid. That's a bad thing for us. The one thing, our blood, sweat, and tears, and our bread and butter here in West Texas is water.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what we need more than anything.
Yeah.
You know, that feeds our cattle. That helps us do a lot of different things that we're known for. We grow our farms and all of our agriculture. They need it too.
Probably the biggest cotton producing region in the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hands down.
We need water for that, not data centers.
Right.
And you know what I kind of noticed about data centers? The same people that were up in arms about so-called climate change, protecting the environment in reference to climate change, sure have no problem with data centers turning. And from my understanding, they're terrible for the climate.
Right. They are. They are.
Resource drains.
Well, in this
Toxic.
in this particular case, they want to put it in East Lubbock.
Yeah.
Okay. 935 acres.
Which is ridiculous.
When we need to be putting rooftops in that community.
Yeah.
To help save Estacada, to help save Dunbar, to help save the communities in North Lubbock. That's what we need to be focusing on. But Lita buys up all the land around in the name of industrial, and then they give land away. We won't even talk about Chick-fil-A. They gave Chick-fil-A 13, 14 acres for free. A multi-billion-dollar company. What are we doing?
Yeah, I guess they're assuming there's going to be some tax benefit down the road for
Right.
that. Is that more like a opportunity zone, supposedly?
Yeah, they want us to look at it like that, but it's not. It's greed. It's just greed, man. They're smogging out this community, the people that are here.
Yeah.
And so we have to fight. That's another thing, you know. I'm all about free market, entrepreneurship, you know. But this guy's from California, and he's going to create 30 jobs.
Yeah,
that's
ridiculous.
That's
not
ridiculous.
even worth turning the soil on.
Right, exactly. Why would we do that?
For some cat videos.
Right, yeah. Like, no, bro, we're not doing that.
Or to build out the surveillance grid is what I suspect that's more likely for. Nobody's watching cat videos like that.
Right, nope, they're not. And so I know Mark McBrayer has been talking to the NAACP about it and pushing it on them silently. Secretly, and I hope that they don't listen. I've told them not to accept it, but here's what they promised. And one of the leaders told me, and I'm not going to name any names because that wouldn't be right. But Mark will make sure that they get a profit. The profit from that data center, the money will come up to East Lubbock's funding. And I'm like, okay. So the problem with that is this: they're not going to put it in writing and let a lawyer seal a deal and do it the right way. They're just saying, vote for me, and and we'll do this data center, and you'll get the money. But who really gets money for the data center? Who will get money for that deal? Is there any kickbacks in that? Is there who will stand to profit from that data center? And when it comes to this data center, it doesn't matter what color you are, black people, white people, Hispanic people, they don't want the data center.
I ain't never seen nobody say, yes,
it's bad for us.
Please bring us data center.
Because they can run a data center with 10 to 15 people.
Right. It's not going to create any real jobs.
No,
it's going to create, like you said, maybe 30 fairly high paying jobs, computer engineers and stuff like that.
Right.
But
they're going to work from home.
Well, somebody's got to be on site to monitor the systems. They're going to make $25, $30 an hour. And that's 30 people. Maybe. After the construction. I think they said 30 jobs on there or something like that. That's not.
No.
And then they said the water is going to be a one-time draw of 200,000 gallons or some 100,000. Well, it may be a one-time draw, but I just ain't down with it. And I feel like it ain't going to be a one-time draw because they said the system is designed such as it regenerates. It reuses the same water over and over again, kind of like a radiator. Perhaps. I don't trust them.
Right.
And how can I verify that?
Right, exactly. I was going to say, show me the paperwork on that, where you did it somewhere else, and that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Everywhere I look on the internet, people are saying, don't get a data center.
That's all I'm seeing.
It's everywhere. And it's just the government is taking the local governments and now forcing it on the people.
Okay.
And so I'm totally against that. Now, dogs.
Yeah. I'm going to say, I think data centers is a
That's
dead
no.
letter over here.
Yeah, no, not happening. We don't need to do that. It doesn't benefit us. It doesn't benefit East and North Lubbock at all.
Right.
When they need rooftops.
30 jobs.
935 acres when they need rooftops to help sustain the community.
Or just leave it as cotton fields.
Right.
Make more money off of it. Yeah, getting to these dogs, though. Just the other day, we had a terrible incident in the city where
Miss Daly.
Miss Daly, is that the lady's name? I didn't know her name.
Yeah.
She was mauled severely by a couple of pit bulls. And this is something that I've noticed since I've been back, especially on the east side. There is a ridiculous amount of dogs just running around. And like I was telling somebody before, it ain't never no toy poodles. It ain't never no Yorkshires, whatever, terriers. It's always some sort of pit bull or some old big old dog that you look at and go, oh, well, you're dead if you get caught by him.
Right. Or severely injured.
Severely injured, maimed for life. And there's several things. First of all, what do you think is the Lubbock Animal Shelter's solution to this? What do you think is first of all, before we even go to LAS, what is the citizens' part in this? Because if you stop letting your dog get out or stop putting them out on the street, that problem would dry up.
That's right.
But since people don't seem to be wanting to do that, what then becomes the city's role in that? So
the problem, the way we've solved the problem is not to, LAS is doing what they can. They overrun. They overrun. And we don't need to throw money at making the building bigger.
Right.
The problem is we got to shut the faucet off. So we gotta my plan that I've already put this out. You can go look at it on my platforms. We've got to shut the faucet off. What do you mean, Sanders, when you say shut the faucet off? That means we got to stop the breeding. We got to get these animals spaded and neutered and make that program available to the low income communities and everybody for that matter. And the state has given some money recently to kind of help with that, but not very much. But the city's got to do something about that. And so we got to make these programs available, get in the community. We got to put this on wheels. We got to get out there. We got to be at the community center. We got to be, at places where people will actually show up.
Doing the spaying and neutering, you
right, right. We got to get on the spot.
Or giving the vouchers anyway.
Right, right.
Now, they do give vouchers. I've actually filmed a few. They do give vouchers up at LAS. You just come by. Now, it'd be a line of cars around down to MLK.
Right, right.
But they do give free vouchers for spaying and neutering.
Right.
But apparently,
it's not enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough. The rescues and the shelters have to help too, and they are. I have a committee with all of them, the ones who own the rescues and stuff and the shelters, and they're overrun.
Yeah.
These people love these animals a lot, but it's just so many of them. So we got to cut the faucet off, and then the second thing is you got to have a permit to breed.
Yeah.
If your animal want to have sex, you're gonna have to pay for that. And if you're caught doing it without that, it's going to be a hefty fine. If your animal, once we get it spayed and neutered and we get it chipped, if your animal's caught outside of your gate, you're going to be heavily fined. The city needs to expand its help is with the fence program. We have a fence program where we help people who need help. You got to say something if you need help. And then number two, the city's got to expand it to make sure we're helping everybody that we can. So that's the first ways that we can do it. And then we got to apply for grants the right way with the state of Texas. I don't think Governor Abbott is against that at all. He's not. We have a great surplus of money in Texas, but if we don't have great grant writers and people who know how to go and get the money, then we won't ever have the access that we need. We need to pay the LAS employees better. They don't make enough money. I did a ride along, and I did a walkthrough tour with the LAS, and it was sad, man. It was sad in there. I don't know if you've ever been in there.
Oh yeah, several times.
Man, it's sad. You know, those animals they're like humans. Once your confidence is gone and your self confidence, you ain't the same.
Yeah. I noticed you didn't say anything about the only way I can see to really fix this problem. You need to institute a regular but humane euthanasia process too.
Well, they do.
They do, but they don't. So that's a no-kill shelter.
Well, not really.
They try to be no-kill. They try to get those, but I think
But
they
can't. They can't.
Right. Every time I look up, they have hundreds of dogs.
Right. There's
when
no
they're supposed
way.
to have, I think they have 400. Supposed to have room for 100. They got 400 or something like that.
Right. So they're trying not to do that.
Right.
But the way that happened is the no-kill group came to Lubbock and they was like, we're doing this, da 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 da. And then all of a sudden they just picked up, moved out, and bounced. And so we're stuck with what we started.
Yeah.
But the animal community is great.
And I'm not bloodthirsty. I don't want to kill them, but it's the way I look at it. I'm sorry to interrupt you there.
No, you're fine.
But it's just the way I look at it. No human being's life is worth even a scratch from somebody's stray dog. It's not even. You shouldn't even be looked at and have a moment of fear for your life because somebody won't control their animal.
Right.
That is not even permissible.
Right. I agree with you on that. I also agree that animals are a creation of Christ. It's not their fault that we got bad animal owners, and it's unfortunate that we have to make hard decisions like that.
Yeah.
But I'm prepared.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to do that. But you know, it is what it is. But I think we're at a place. I've watched San Antonio turning around quickly.
Really?
They've done really good.
Huh.
They got their animals under control, and the overpopulation is down. What
did they do?
They just what I told you.
Same thing.
Same thing. That's the same plan. Anything I tell you that I'm gonna do, it's already been proven to me that it can be done more than several times. You know, because I like to have proof.
Yeah.
The proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
You know, and so I believe that that's the way we got to do it. But I'm really sad about Sister Daly. She's got a couple of more surgeries to go, and she's not a young lady. She's an elderly lady. Matter of fact, she's a very, very wonderful Christian lady.
Yeah. When you said the name, I feel like I know her. I know her. Somebody related to her. I think that was my age.
Oh yeah. Her sons or probably
Roderick Daly.
Mm-hmm.
Is that him?
I think so. Yep.
Somebody I haven't seen him in decades, but
they all go to New Hope Baptist Church.
Okay.
But Mr. Daly has driven the bus for a long time, and you know, it's just, man, it's been a hard thing to see, but it really shined a light on me as to what I need to do. I got to be aggressive.
Yeah.
And if you don't take care of your animal, it's going to cost you a lot of money.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like we're at the point where you have to take some serious measures.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about, it's going to make people mad, but if your animal hurts someone, kill them right there. Take them to the animal shelter and euthanize them. Don't put them on a dangerous dog list and we got to test them and see all this and see all that. No. Right.
I would disagree with you on that, but I understand exactly where you're coming from because it's not right. This lady could possibly lose her life, even though she's old. It's shortening her days because she got attacked by some animals, and the owners probably won't ever step up and fess up. And
They'll never say it was their fault.
Right. So I understand what you're saying, but I have so much respect for life that I can't actually.
I do too, but no animal life is more important than a human life.
It's not.
No,
I just can't. I don't feel like I created life, so I don't get to take it. But in the case that we have animals that are attacking people and there's no way to train them.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
We could go on for a long time about that. Sum up for somebody that might be thinking about voting for you, might be on the fence, might not want to vote for you. Convince them. Give me a elevator speech. Say, you know how it is, a little 30-second.
Okay. I'll give you 30 seconds.
Maybe a minute or two.
Lubbock has been the same way for a really long time. And I think it's important that you guys understand that my plan is a plan for all 17 zip codes. It's for the people to finally have a voice in the tax money that the money belongs to you. A lot of people get the misconception that the city council and the mayor, that it's their money. No, it's your money. And I want to be your mayor, your voice, and your money. I want to fix our animal situation. I want to make sure that I level the playing field for each part of town. I want to make sure that you have a leader that will serve every part of town, not just the ones that will give them campaign money or do things for them. I also want to make sure that our roads are fixed. How do we fix the roads? My $100 million plan. That plan will bring in revenue that we never, ever would have had without my plan. And that's how we do it. And it'll give us lots of tax money so that we don't have to raise your taxes. I'm aware of what LCAT is doing right now, that the appraisals went up on all of your homes. I understand that. The city is sitting there collecting that money very quietly if you don't realize it. They're not going to say anything. But as your mayor, I will counter offset that by making sure we stay at the no new revenue tax rate so that you're not paying more for the tax rate and more for your appraisal, which is basically a backdoor way to raise your taxes. So I understand how it works, and I'm going to be able to stop it. I'm going to be able to take care of you. I'm going to be able to bring you tax relief, and I'm going to be able to stand up for you whenever you're not around in any room at any time. So I appreciate your vote. I understand that some people don't believe in Christ like I do, but that doesn't mean that I don't have to serve you. So I'm going to serve whoever you are, wherever you are. I'm going to serve you, and I'm going to do it well.
Well, you just heard it from the man himself, Stephen Sanders. I appreciate you coming on the Focus LBK show. Said some interesting things there. Got some interesting takes on some things. I think we need to talk more offline. Man, might have to pull you back, man, because it's amazing.
I was going to say this was way too short.
Yeah,
we need to have a part 2 session where we deep dive a little bit more. You know, but man, I want to just say, man, you're an intelligent man. And I really appreciate you doing this. I always knew you were intelligent, but I've never really been able to sit down and talk with you like this. And man, keep up the good work. I really appreciate what you're doing.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad somebody does. You probably know when you're doing stuff like this, you hardly get feedback. You want it, you crave it, you're asking people all the time. But most people won't take a couple of moments to say, hey, that was good, or hey, that sucked, don't do that again. I appreciate either one. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I agree. We'll probably have to do this again. Matter of fact, just when we get off air here, we'll go ahead and set something up.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I still got a million questions. We could probably do this for another 2 or 3 hours.
Man, whatever questions you have, you know I want to answer. I do. I don't mind. I don't have anything to hide, you know, and so it makes me happy to be able to feel that way. And to be able to say, hey, whatever questions you got, let's talk about it.
Right.
Because when I was out in the world and not being who I should be, of course I didn't like questions. You know, I'm like, don't be asking me no questions about nothing. But I'm okay with that now. So thanks be to God.
Okay. Well, Stephen, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah.
LBK, when is that election coming up? May
2nd. Early voting starts on the 20th.
Okay.
Through the 28th, if I'm not mistaken. And or the 22nd, one of those, but it's coming up quick.
Yeah.
So make sure most people are already registered in this area. You don't know it, but you are.
Yeah.
Just go vote. Make sure your voice is heard, because that's how we create great legislation at the local level.
All right, LBK. I'm wholeheartedly down with that. Whoever you get out and vote for, you know, that's up to you.
Right.
But get out and vote for somebody. Don't just chill at the crib. I know that's easy to do in LBK. The living is easy. It's real cool over here, weather notwithstanding. But man, get out there and vote.
That's right.
Get out there and choose somebody, make your voice heard. You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, tell you what, thanks for tuning in to episode 133, I believe, of the Focus LBK show.
Wow.
And man,
that's good.
we're going to have you back.
Okay.
All right, brother. Y'all take it easy out there. All right. Peace.